cohesion. Under the restriction of fiscal consolidation, we implemented measures strengthening the income of the poorer households of the Greek society. We adopted an institutional framework protecting primary residents from foreclosures and preventing related loans to be sold to the secondary non-bank financial institutions market. We insisted on a progressive tax system with a relatively high tax-free threshold on income tax. And we prioritized boosting spending in public health and the education system. Increased economic, political, I would add social stability, helped to decrease risk associated to the Greek economy. Further implementation of the adjustment program, inclusion of the Greek bonds of ECB's QE program, and abolition of capital controls are the final steps to be taken so as to align risk associated to the Greek economy with the rest of the Eurozone, which is to almost nullify risk. According to the latest available data, Greek economy exhibited a surprisingly strong performance during the summer quarter, confirming the most optimistic forecasts that indicated that the second quarter of 2016 was positive, the third was even more positive, and if we have the final quarter of the year also very positive, it implies that 3 quarters in a row indicate that the economy is turning around. On the third quarter, the Greek GDP grew 1.8% on a yearly basis, and it seems highly probable that it will stay unchanged for the full year or even grow by a small percentage. For 2017, international institutions, the European Commission included, forecast a growth rate higher than 2.5%, while in the medium term, Greek economy appears set to achieve an average growth rate close to 3%. It is rather important that this kind of growth, the main driving force is private investment, growing in the third quarter of 2016 by 12.6%. Moreover, exports are recovering, increasing by more than 10% also in the third quarter. There is also encouraging continuous decline of the unemployment rate, which on September was 23.1%, well below the initial level that was at the peak of 2012, which was 29%. Of course, it is still an unacceptably high level of unemployment. However, the decline by almost 5% points during the last 3 years and by 1.2% during the last 9 months is an encouraging element that things may improve in the coming year. Higher frequency indicators confirm also that the Greek economy is ready to jump to a high growth trajectory. The volume of retail sales increased during the summer months by an average of 3% on a yearly basis. Building activity increased on August by a very high percent after a very, very long period of deep recession. Industrial production was on September 9.5% higher compared to a year earlier, and indicators from the tourist market point also to a new record year for the heavy industry of the Greek economy, with more than 25.5 million tourist arrivals and a significant increase in the sector's turnover over this third quarter. Taking into account this important turning point that characterizes the Greek economy, we should also like to underline the fact that there is enormous progress in a whole range of new financial tools that support financing of the economy and new investment initiatives. Let me simply mention the title. We have the cohesion funds of the European Union, We had a record absorbing those cohesion funds last year, and we have a kick-off period for the new 2014-2020 period, which provide a lot of finance to both infrastructure and investment in Greece. We have the new investment law, which provide financing particularly for SMEs. We have the Juncker plan, which also indicates a very strong performance in the Greek economy. It's the fifth economy in terms of absorbing resources from the Juncker plan. And the program of privatizations that was completed last year, with the most important investments being the Port of Piraeus and the regional airport, and some more investments, privatizations coming up in the next years. Allow me to shift now to a sector for which I am responsible nowadays. It has to do with the energy and gas sector. And allow me to say that the strategy and the design of the changes and transformation of the energy sector is taking place under two very specific constraints. A, this has to do with the Paris Agreement, on which the UN Paris Agreement on climate change, on which the Greek government is committed to implement. It signed it and it's committed to implement it. And the second constraint is the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which is has to do with the European Union, and which indicates the targets that each and every European country has to follow in terms of its targets, in terms of the environment and the energy sector. Well-established global leaders in fossil fuels are currently preparing their transition to lower carbon energy sources and focus on bolstering wind and solar energy. The future belongs obviously to a stronger presence of renewable energy and green energy that will alleviate the global warming effect. Let us remind you here, in the case we have noted so far, that Greece is the land of sun, wind, and sea, and the Asians named even their gods after them, Apollo, Aeolus, and Poseidon. So we are familiar with this new shift of policy. Allow me to come back to the second constraint, the EU constraint, that has as a target the Energy Union of 2020. We are fully committed to its targets and we are well underway to reach them. In fact, as renewables is concerned, we have already reached the target, since 18% of our energy production today derives from renewable energies in the field, with a target of 20% for 2020. In the field of electricity, we are committed to open up the retail market and contain the share of PPC, which we want to remain a major player in the market, to 50% of this market. Now let me shift to 5 windows of investment opportunity in the energy sector. The one is the retail electricity market. The opening of the electricity retail market in a stable and coordinated way that will safeguard the stability of the system offers a great investment opportunity not only in retail operations but in production lines as well. On top of this, there is a great need, obviously, to upgrade PPC utilities, as the old lignite units will have to gradually withdraw from production, and PPC is going on with important investments in producing new units that will have much less environmental impact. The second area is the new generation distribution electrical networks. Their electricity markets are going a major transformation similar to the one telecommunications underwent throughout the 90s. The future lies with a link of electricity networks with the digital world. We are already working intensively in this direction, but I would like to single out the major investment projects in this field. The rollout of smart meters in all 7.5 million customers in Greece. This could lead to the development of communication, digital platforms that will provide the necessary data for the development of local markets for energy exchange. This huge infrastructure investment, estimated roughly around €1 billion, open tremendous business opportunities, especially for startup companies. Third target is the creation of an energy network of islands. Electrical interconnection with Greek islands is at the top of our agenda. Various projects are up and running, two of them being the interconnection of Peloponnesus with Crete and the connection of Kyklades with the mainland. Another major prospective investment in search of financing is the electrical connection between Attiki and Crete. What happens with the non-interconnected islands, though? Here lies the opportunity of a very high renewable energy penetration. Non-interconnected islands with high renewable potential can be used for the installation of hybrid systems to displace diesel units and operates the system with more than 50% renewable energy. The key parameter for the success of this project is the development of advanced energy management systems that will ensure operations of the system with reliability and security. The fourth element has to do with a southeastern energy crossroad. The most observant amongst you may have noticed that in the past 10 days, I have been traveling quite a lot, Brussels, Rome, Jerusalem, etc. I'm starting to feel a kind of energy crusader, like what we are not in the 12th century anymore. From my traveling, I bring a clear message. Greece is becoming an integral part of what can we call Southeastern Energy Crossroad. This is made out of two corridors. The first is the vertical corridor, starting from Greece and stretching over to the Balkans or at the heart of Eastern Europe. The political will for the completion of this corridor is already there, and infrastructure projects to support it are advancing, opening thus a great window of investment opportunity. I'm referring to the upgrade of LNG Revithoussa station, a prospective new LNG station in Alexandroupoli, the new IGB gas pipeline, and of course, the project that is already underway, which is TAP. The second corridor is that of Eastern Mediterranean, that will link the European energy market straight with the gas fields in the Levant Basin. Pre-FEED studies demonstrated the feasibility of a new offshore gas pipeline connecting straightly the field with the European market. The European Commission stepped in to monitor the studies being made with all the sides, Italy, Cyprus, Greece, and Israel, considering East Med pipeline as a high priority solution. Let me make here particular reference to another opportunity in the Greek gas markets. As you know, all you know, a part of the Greek network, DESFA, will be back on the market soon, considering the country's strategic position. The company's future will be obviously more bright. Last but not least, oil and minerals open new investment opportunities. Greece has already launched 2 international licensing rounds for offshore hydrocarbons exploration in western Greece and south of Crete. 2 of these fields, we call them field number 2 and number 10, have proved very promising, and we intend in the near future to relaunch a third round for the rest 18 fields. At the same time, the gas field of Prinos is up and running, and its overall capacity has increased a lot. In Katakolo, drilling is about to begin in 2018, and production is scheduled for 2019. Greece is also a country with a significant mineral resources background in terms of quality, quantity, and variety of ores, minerals, and aggregates. The Greek mining metallurgical industry supplies essential raw materials for primary industries and various downstream users. The tendency here is the strengthening of export sector with regard to products placed on the international markets, industrial minerals, aluminium, nickel, mixed subsidy, magnesium compounds, marble products, and many others. In conclusion, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, I think that the Greek economy, after a very long period and with a lot of effort, has managed to reach a turning point where prospects for recovery are more optimistic, and at the same time, fiscal and financial stability have come back into the picture. The investment potential is there. Let us all work for attaining a more successful return to a viable Greek economy. Thank you.
We thank Mr. Stathakis for a very insightful set of remarks. And as he is coming back, so we're going to have a photo opportunity. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this will conclude the luncheon. And thank you very much. We have to go down. We have a dynamite panel coming up. It's the foreign investment attitude from Greece. We have George Lorofelis, William Kratos, and John Sudounis. So I know we're back.